Welcome everybody. Thanks for coming. Telford Road signage, the dear old Telford Road. We don't have a picture tonight because we've shown it a couple of times. There's a bit of road at North Avalon that goes from the creek crossing over towards North Avalon Road, but the little road that goes from Barrenjoey Road down there is a Telford Road by the engineer, Scottish engineer Thomas Telford. And it's the only remaining bit in Pittwater as far as we can see. There is quite a section of it in Castle Crag, which the National Trust have seen fit to list, but we're having a devil of a time notifying people about this and getting it kept. 3 times, Pittwater Council once, twice, and now Northern Beaches have tried to tar it over. So we're having a sign that's been put together, and we're going to erect a sign adjacent to the Telford Road explaining that this is the only remaining section of the Telford Road between, well, Narrabeen Bridge and Barrenjoey. There was a bit in Etable Street, but that's been asphalted over also. All Pacific Road with the Webster family. That's all been tarred over. We've got a few shots of some of the gorgeous edging stones that were typical of the Telford Road. So that sign should be up soon. It'll be adjacent to these remaining sections of the Telford Road.
Are you putting the signs up or council?
Council are putting the signs up. We provided a photograph, a really beautiful photograph in 1940. Our last secretary, Nina Gow, her dad was in the area from the late 1930s, and he's taken a photograph from Bangallee Headland looking southwest, and you can see the Telford Road and the new Barrenjoey Road just been made to bypass the little road that went down to the creek. And you actually forded the creek in the 1920s to get to Palm Beach until they built a trafficable bridge. So that's the mighty Telford Road. Framing Beach, you're probably framing Avalon Beach. I guess you saw the signs that were put up for our centenary, where there was a photograph of a historic site, and adjacent to that was a hole that you look through to get the present day location of the historic sign. They were really successful. Lots of people said, hey, what a beautiful idea, can we keep them going? A fair few of them were graffitied and played up with, etc. So they've gone through and they've done, I think, about 10 new signs. Tasman's not here, is he? Tasman Couston? No, okay. Tasman has been involved with local studies at... Here he is. G'day, Tasman. With local studies to get just the photographs mounted. There were, I think, 8 of them around Avalon Beach. So where the view is, they're going to mount the singular photograph on top of an aluminium stand. So it should be beautiful. The signs look fantastic. The photographs look great. All credited to the Avalon Beach Historical Society, which we're thrilled about. One of them, which we'll see tonight, shows the Avalon Public School in 1950. And I don't think John Webster's here, is he? No, John Webster. John sent some recollections. We'll read that out when we get to the photograph that shows the 66 pupils from Newport having transferred to the new school at Avalon Beach. Avalon Beach Surf Life Saving Club this year celebrates its bicentennial, its centenary, go easy Geoff, with a big exhibition in October. You are all welcome to come over. The doors will be open. We'd love to see you. There'll be over 400 photographs, not just the history of the surf club, but some of the beach, the swimming pool in its 100 years, etc. So it'll be put up on the Saturday. So Sunday or Monday of the long weekend, we'd love to see you there. Warren will be on deck too. He's been working hard with me. I saw down at Bilgola Surf Life Saving Club about 30 or 40, I dare call them mug shots, but they showed like a studio photograph of past presidents. And I thought, wow, we could do that for our life members. And we have 51 life members of the surf club. So me, Big Mouth, had to write about each of the individual life members, why they were given life membership, and then chase up a photograph of them all. So there'll be some beaut shots, some intriguing shots. A.J. Small was the very first Life member, who was also the founder of Avalon Beach. So come along. We managed to also to secure the mighty IRB-1, which was the very first IRB. I was actually in the surf club. I was a party of the committee in 1969 when Warren Mitchell in the old surf club dragged up this funny old grey bit of flexible plastic and a 15-horse Evinrude that looked like it was going to go nowhere. And we said, "What have you got, Warren? What's the problem?" He said, "I don't have a problem, but this is going to be the newest and the best surf life-saving device ever." We said, "Really?" He'd spent a lot of time over in England and seen the use of them over there in ship-to-shore transport, and he thought, "Hang on, why can't we use that as a life-saving device? They can go through waves. If the wave's too big, you do a U-turn and head back until it settles down, then you can climb over the wave." And we've tried to get it down before, because Warren Mitchell gave IRB-1 to the National Maritime Museum. And when the IRB turned 50 in 2009, I think, they said, no, you can't, I'm sorry, it's locked up in storage. We said, "In storage?" Anyway, we finally got to the people that mattered, and they came down with their lux meters to register how much light was going to be falling on this 55 to 60-year-old bit of neoprene or whatever. And we showed them the site where it was going to be left for the weekend. Yes, and we would have a stand and people monitoring and looking after it. I think they put a price of about $2,000 on the dear old thing. So you'll be able to see the very first IRB. It took a long time to get it accepted through some of the hierarchy who thought they should still be rear line and belt. That's the only way to save people in the surf. Well, it's saved up, I think it's 108,000 lives have been saved by the IRB in that 55 years it's been operating. So she's certainly done a job, and we're thrilled that Warren unfortunately can't get out here. He's not well enough. Many thanks to Matt and Amy Young, who run the real estate practice on the end of Carril Bay Wharf under Lang and Simmons. They continue to support the society and pay the rent for the mighty annex 4 times a year, which is incredibly generous of them. And Alison of Pittwater Online News, who provides some sensational information. She goes out, she doesn't drive, but yet she can cover 7 RSL Anzac Day services in one day. We don't know how she does this. I think poor old husband Eric has told, often Mona Vale, often Newport, etc. But she's a gem. She does a fabulous job in recording history and making it available to whoever's interested in it. So that's one of the new Avalon Beach framing signs. It's around about that dimension by that, sitting on a pole about that high, so that older people don't have to get down to read a plaque on a piece of sandstone. And that gives you a great shot of the mighty theatre, opened in 1954. Just go back one, John. Oh, there we go. In 1955, the mighty Avalon was opened. It's obviously been changed, you're all aware, into 2 theatres, and it used to be one really, really big theatre. It was a ripper. I think it was Mike Walsh bought it and converted it into 2 theatres, which works, but we're a bit scared that we're not quite sure what's going to happen to its future. The insides have been changed so much. The facade is exactly as you see there. We've got this incredible photograph in 1996 of Grant Page, in part of the Pittwater Festival. He suddenly appeared out of this door, set himself alight, and he ran the full length of the balcony, and people are, "What's going on?" But he was a stuntman, Grant Page, but that was part of the performance. And so the facade remains as it is. But when the gentleman who owns the theatre dies and leaves this mortal world, we don't know what the son's intention are, and they could well think, well, shop top housing, why not? You know, we'll make much more money out of shop top housing than keeping this silly little couple of theatres going. So several attempts have been made to get the history of the facade together, but I cannot find Howard Spry.
Yes, I'm in touch with Adele, that's my late wife's name as well.
Right.
They got together there when it was built.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm in touch with Howard all the time.
Because I've sent 2 texts, 2 emails, and I've had no return. I know that he moved from Killarney Heights to
Yeah, I can
Belrose.
liaise with you.
Sorry?
I can liaise with
Oh,
you.
that'd be brilliant, John. Sure. Yeah, okay. Because oh, that's great.
Oh, you know about narrowing, I'm doing half.
Yeah, sure, brilliant.
You're happy to talk.
Oh, that's good news. Great. Okay, because he offered to come along and talk about what he knew about the theatre from go, which would be fantastic. Yeah. And Ray, you were the 2 years. The second year you joined. Fantastic. Brilliant. Okay. So we hope to get a good expose of the theatre, the mighty cinema, when we get hold of.
The trouble they had with pumping all the water out, well, they put the foundations in because it's below sea level, as we know.
I know, but Howard talked to us about it being built on a raft structure, so the building almost floats, sort of things, because it is so close to the mean high water mark. So it's a bit scary, but it's done pretty well for 75 years or whatever. Okay, the next one, John. Thank you. Great. Here we are. I think it's the first day of Avalon Public School. It's probably 1960. I think that's probably Holly Borger, who was my teacher. I joined the following year. Here's Dos Maguire, and Mr Maguire we can't see. He was the first headmaster, and Mr and Mrs Maguire came from Coopanook, where they were headmaster and teacher up there. And he had this offer of this new school at Avalon Beach, and they jumped at it. And that's the new building, a demountable sort of put up, and then off it went and just swelled and became a 900 pupil school. I did get a call, an email from John Webster. John pops along from time to time from the western suburbs using public transport to a meeting here of the Historical Society on a Tuesday night, which is a remarkable feat. But he did send this. It seems amazing that I attended Avalon Public School for the first day of teaching 75 years ago, 14th of August 1950. Can't you be a bit specific, John? Incredible. About 66 of us, that's absolutely spot on, plus teachers and staff crammed onto the northern building veranda for some photographs. Then we were distributed into the 2 classrooms of that building and met our teachers. I think it was kindergarten to 3rd up to that doorway, and then it was 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th and the rest of it. So I can conclude with my offering my congratulations to the school for its long period of service to the thousands of children educated over these years. Well done. And that's by John Webster. Incredible. I said in the meeting notice we've lost 4 creative geniuses up to that meeting. Well, we've now lost 5, and plus another remarkable and delightful and charming early Avalonian. I reported on the passing of John Murch. Jack McCoy passed in May. Since then we've lost Bruce Gould and Mick Glasheen, and Karen Avis passed in July, and film producer Bill Limeback passed in the 5th of August. Here's John Murch. John was born in 1941 at Mona Vale. I put together a biography with a bit of what I know also. I've been fortunate enough to know each of the 6 people involved. Here's John. He was born in 41 at Mona Vale, and then moved to Avalon, I think, in the mid-40s. His dad, Arthur Murch, was our first Archibald Prize winner in 1949. But John obviously learned a whole lot from Arthur. Arthur wasn't just a brilliant artist, but also an engineer and a sculptor. When you drive through Blackheath these days, you'll see on the left-hand side between the Great Western Highway and the railway line a horse jumping up, and it's Govett's Leap. It's Govett on his horse, and Arthur actually did that sculptor. And John's learnt from him. In fact, I was asked to go to attend his memorial service, and it was in his house in Palm Grove Road, and he built the house out of stone. It's absolutely stunning. I felt unhappy about taking photographs at a memorial service, but Michelle, his sister, and Deb, his wife, are going to come down next year and show us the PowerPoints that they used at the memorial service. So you'll see some great shots, but we've got a couple of beaut ones in the interim. Okay, John, this is one of John's. Isn't that remarkable? It's quite incredible. Beyond the bends, John was known as the legend in the Australian film industry, working as a sculptor and model maker on some of Australia's iconic movies. The Mad Max films, Crocodile Dundee 1 and 2, Les Patterson Saves the World, The Matrix, Babe 2, Priscilla Queen of the Desert, and many more. And there he is working with his plaster, fiberglass, and who knows what else, probably stone too. Okay, John, it's a ripper, isn't it? There's another view. I mean, it's got to make AI look pretty ordinary, I think, to be able to create that sort of thing. Here he is again. And there he is working on his house. I got to walk through the house, but as I say, I was very shy about taking photographs, so we'll show you what it looks like. It's quite stunning, really beautiful piece of work. You think, what's going on there? Here's the Avalon drive-in bottle shop. How can we locate that? It's almost opposite the English Rose, or the cafe on the eastern side of Old Barrenjoey Road. Opposite that is where this bottle shop used to stand. And John built this remarkable fiberglass bottle of Chianti for Bill McDonald, who had the store built. It's quite a ripper. It hung around for a while.
Bob Askin opened that.
Sorry?
Bob Askin.
He did, yeah, Bob Askin was. We got photographs of Bob.
We mastered the surf club there.
Yeah, I think you're in the photograph. Yeah, that's sure. Sure, great. He is survived by his partner Deb Masters, son Max, daughters Charlotte and Georgia, and his sister Michelle and their families. John's originality was a gift, a remarkable man who shaped many lives. So, Vale John Murch. And here's Jack McCoy. Over the past 12 months, legendary surf filmmaker Jack McCoy had been busy working behind the scenes to create the Jack McCoy Australian Surf Film Fest as his legacy piece for the global surf community. His daughter, Indiana Campbell, said Dad's aim for the festival was for it to become the most prestigious surf film festival in the world, with a pretty simple strategy: showcase the greatest surf films of all time. There he is with his long lens. What a ripper. As he always said, surf films are made to be seen on the big screen. A bit of his gear there. Incredible. Throughout his career, his main objective was to share the spirit of Aloha by gathering the surf tribe to share the stoke. He wanted the festival to inspire each generation to come together, talk story, and celebrate the art of surfing. There's a great picture of him underneath a breaking wave on top. Incredible. And I didn't know about this. I didn't know that he had a house built up in Riverview, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Trying to think of the architect now. Sorry for that. Trappers Way, yeah, right. It runs from Riverview Road up to Trappers Way. He had the whole site. He popped into our office one day and gave John and I a copy of his latest CD, a deeper shade of blue. So we're happy to have that in our archives. Bruce Gould, and I think we all pretty much know the mighty Bruce Gould. We've got some pics to show there. David Elphick very kindly opened up the mighty Palladium for his celebration of life. And I think, how many did you have there, David? Did you? A couple of hundred in there, did you? And more, looked like it did. It was a brilliant day. David had cleared some of the stuff off, some of his favourite photographs off the wall, and just got Bruce Gould framed prints around the wall. It was absolutely stunning. It was a great day. Here he is. Peter White's here. Peter's partner is Rosie Nice. Rosie actually spent time in the Yellow House where Bruce worked and played and did a whole lot of other things up there with the National Art School. And so Rosie helped in the production of the film by one of our creative geniuses who have passed, Bill Lineback. Bill made a wonderful film which I've seen called Under the Lino. Bruce was a fabulous lino cut printmaker. Stunning work. Well, we'll show you some now, John. Oh, there he is, chilling out between lino cuts. Here's David. Thank you, David. And Rosie, and she's going to come along next year, hopefully, and run through the film about Bruce Gould's life. A few of the guests at the mighty celebration of life. I think that's a Whiteley, yeah, Wendy Whiteley, yeah, sure. Great. I saw a shirt, a Bruce Gould shirt on eBay for $559 if you'd like one. Incredible, yeah, the real thing, absolutely stunning. That's one of my favourites, the mighty Bogong moths. Isn't it a beautiful piece of work? Absolutely incredible. When you think of just what had to be cut out of there with the lino cutting tool to relieve is incredible. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, great, John. It's a bit more freaky, the mighty Banksia man, getting a bit of a run there with the Currawong probably, rather than his usual choice of a magpie up on top of the head of Mr. Banksia man. Yeah, isn't that stunning? Yeah, isn't it beautiful? Yeah. Yeah, these mighty Maggies. Bruce always had an affinity and a connection with the tropical beat of nature on the peninsula, Nancy says. Nancy is his daughter, absolutely gorgeous young girl. She basically ran it with David's help. She was fantastic. Kate had died, I suppose about 20 years earlier. Something like that, which was really sad. She used to come into the shop, a gorgeous lady. He was particularly inspired by all the bird life that flocked to him at his Palm Beach home studio. The king of the magpies, we would sometimes call him. Born in Newcastle in 1948, attended Sydney Grammar School. He recounted that his dad, a Spitfire pilot during World War II, had been a very good artist and treasured a book of drawings his dad had compiled. Bruce moved to Newport in the early 1970s and soon after met his Melbourne-born wife Katie. Nancy was born in 1978 and Katie died in 2018. Okay. He's mighty kookaburra on the cover of Pittwater Life. Brilliant. There you go, on the side of the mighty RSL. Brilliant bit of work.
Excuse me, did you also know he did a beautiful mural on an outside wall at Avalon Public School with magpies and bats?
Oh, is that what Bruce is? Oh, wow. When, yeah. Oh, I must pop down and get a shot. Is it still in good nick? Bugger.
I've got a photo I can bring.
Oh, I love you too. We could copy that. Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, Sylvia. Good.
He also designed the symbol for the Friends of Currawong too.
Oh, friends of Currawong too. Yeah, incredible. Wow, what a talent. Not many people will know Mick Glasheen. He was a fairly short. He used to come into the shop with long silvery hair and a shoulder bag. And, Geoff, can I just have a little packet of tofu, please? I said, yeah, sure, Mick, no trouble. Anyway, he's quite remarkable. There he is. He's had his hair cut there. but these are some of his works. He's been a pioneering force in the fields of experimental film and interactive media since the late 1960s. For the past 25 years, he was living in Sydney's northern beaches. Glasheen has drawn and painted the Hawkesbury sandstone landscape of Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park with the vision of creating art that becomes an immersive 360-degree experience, inviting the viewer to experience large-scale drawings of major Garigal rock engravings. He was renting a house up in Hillside, and he had rooms with these incredible panoramas that he painted in there, and the camera just moved around and took you on this incredible meander through his house of these beautiful paintings, these panoramas. There he is, Michael.
That land has been bought where he was living.
Right.
It's been bought by council.
Was that under Rob Stokes's instigation?
Yes.
Right.
And there's a bush care group that works there.
Oh, fabulous. So the house is occupied, or?
Somebody was looking after him at his painting.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm not sure what's happened.
Yeah, right.
No, I'm not sure what's happened since then.
Okay, right.
There's an exhibition of his paintings at Newport at the community centre a couple of years ago, probably 5 years ago.
Okay, wow. Yeah, stunning. We'll show you some in a sec. 6th of September 2019, Michael had a fall, broke his leg, but while recovering had several small strokes. And several years later, that's what seems to have taken him away. But John, we've got some, there's one. That's quite a ripper for people who have read Dark Emu. That's actually showed here's your emu here, and the dark emu up in the sky there, and that's his interpretation. It's quite magnificent. Should we have that light off? Yeah, we can see enough, can't we? I mean, these are sort of, out to here somewhere. They're really stunning, beautiful pieces of work. That's not fair. Great, and then the mighty Karen Avis. The Avis family moved into Harley Road probably in the 50s. In the 50s, I'm not sure, family. And Mr. Avis, Alan, bought the 2 blocks in Harley Road on the low side. And on one block he made a tennis court. And he was a reasonable tennis player himself, but he taught Adrian, the elder daughter, and Karen to play tennis. And Adrian competed at a mature age in Wimbledon, so they both made reached incredible levels with their tennis skills. But sadly, Karen contracted hepatitis B, and even with the liver replacement, it wasn't sufficient, and we lost the mighty Karen. Had a beautiful service up at Avalon Beach Surf Club there. Her daughter, Elkie, who used to come into our shop too, actually spoke beautifully about her mother. It was just gorgeous, very tearful. It was incredible. But one to go of the 6 that we've lost, and here's the mighty Bill Limeback. Bill has been producing film and television for over 25 years. His last feature film venture, the critically acclaimed and box office favourite World War I epic Beneath Hill 60, picked up 12 Australian Film Award nominations, including Best Film, Best Director and Best Script. After university in California, Bill trained at film school in London and with the BBC. He worked in the UK film industry for 10 years before moving his production company to Australia in the 1980s, from where he's produced over 25 films for National Geographic, Discovery, PBS, BBC, ABC and SBS and the Australian commercial TV networks 7, 9 and 10. Lovable fella and a damn fine film producer. Did you work with him, Ray, or was he just a mate?
Yes, he rented my grandmother's place in Palm Beach, an old post office building.
Oh, right,
He
okay.
started there with survival films. Unfortunately, it didn't survive, but Lucky Country Productions continued on.
Right,
I made a film called Walkabout to Hollywood.
right.
I took David Kulpil from his native area in the Northern Territory, and we did a film up there in his natural habitat, and compared that to his life in Hollywood.
Right.
It was happening at the same time. He was quite an articulate, humorous man in his own way.
Yeah,
The white man's booze got hold of him and just slaughtered him.
right, wow,
And
okay.
he just faded away about a couple of years ago.
No, back in July recently. What am I saying? 5th of August. Yeah, very sad. Young Bill with the blonde hair. We got any? What else have we got? That's it. Great. All righty. Beaut. All right. Any questions about anything there? Yeah. Rob?
That small boat that was in the second lot, so it was actually a model boat.
Yeah.
What was the story of that?
Oh, I've no idea. But hang on to it, or I'll hang on to it too. And when Michelle or Deb comes along to talk and to show us the previews that they prepared for the memorial, we'll ask her then. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Why? It just looked fascinating, or looked like it had something?
If it was motorised, if it actually...
Yeah, sure. Yep, great. Okay, super. All righty. So no other questions, nothing else to offer or whatever? Okay, all right. Well, we'll get underway with the mighty smithy. It's pretty fascinating. It'll be fascinating part the way through it. Or no, the whole thing is fascinating to start off with, because Smithy thinks that he can fly from Oakland, California, across to Sydney, no trouble at all, with a couple of stops, landing at Suva, refuelling there, and then heading off to Hawaii first, then Suva, then Eagle Farm Airport in Brisbane. He did that with Charles Owen as his co-pilot, and radio operator James Warner, and navigator and engineer Harry Lyon. It's a remarkable film that's been redone from the 1928 actual occurrence by Kenneth G. Hall. He thought that was just too good a story in 1946 not to photograph and make a film about the story about Smithy's attempt to cross the Pacific.
It's a gala night with a real pre-war flavour and a fine tribute to an Australian film. But more than that, it's a tribute to a very great Australian, Sir Charles Kingsford Smith.
That's Kevin Avenue, Central Road, and we've got Park Avenue going up there. We've got the first Sept Club building in 1934, and we've got 34, and the clerk's store there. We've got where did that's the Wollstonecraft just there that ducks off and joins up with Elvina, and of course here's the mighty North Head and the St Michael's Cave just near there, and here's the Southern Cross coming in over, and there's the torpedo base again up top there. Well, we do have some stills to show you at the end of it, just going a little bit closer. There we go, yeah. Here's JT Stapleton's real estate office with the dirty great big sign, the clerk's store, and here's the surf club with the ladies and the men's open air dressing sheds. And here's St Mark's Church. Foundation stone laid in July 1943, so it fits in beautifully with the 1946 film. And there you've got your Central Road, your Park Avenue, only going part the way, of course, and there's your Wollstonecraft Avenue ducking up to join on to Elvina. There's the Wickham store, now Chambers Cellars, and the two-storey heritage one with the financial management company on the corner there. Here's the remains of the Avaput mini golf course from the 1930. And the servo has been built at the front now. That was the remains of the tennis court. Pretty much got it covered. Here's mighty Dunbar Park and where the bowling greens were eventually sited. And Mr Small's house, Avalon there, number 70.
What year would that be, Geoff?
This one, the surf club, well, 43, the church. Where,
46.
yeah, 40, we've got a picture of, I'll show it, I'll put it out on the desk of John and June Rives at the first wedding ceremony at this church in I'm sure it was 43, July 43, soon after the foundation stone was laid. And the poor old Sandhills are starting to suffer with people like Geoff and all the holiday makers and etc. coming down and grabbing their bits of corrugated cardboard and having a ball sliding down the massive slopes we used to have there, and the immature Norfolk pines there. Here's the old canal coming down here, becoming Carril Creek further down there, the early Central Road East. And here's the drainage coming down from Ruskin Row and from Toongarry and coming down here and then joining into the water from the golf course and Palm Grove Park. There's another, a later production where Smithy and P.G. Taylor and Stannard take off from Richmond to start the mail run from from Sydney to New Zealand. But as they're getting about halfway along, P.G. Taylor, who is at the stick, is at the helm, sees up on the forward engine around the exhaust an unusual bright fire, and you think, what the hell's going on? Hey, Smithy, come and check this out. And at that moment, this pipe leaves the engine and comes through the wooden propeller on the starboard engine, because they've got three engines, and disables that engine totally because it's useless. The propeller's now been chopped and shredded by this, and so all of a sudden they're flying on a forward engine and the port engine on the left-hand side. But they discovered that they turned around, didn't they, John? They turned around because they know this is critical. We better head back to Australia, Richmond, Sydney, wherever we can get a landing site, because we're in strife. As they turn round, again he notices a pink stream coming out of the port engine, and so they recognise that as the engine is burning oil. And that's critical, because they look at the pressure, and the pressure is starting to drop down, so that's not a good sign. So they're looking at where there are ships in case they have to put down in the water, and all this sort of stuff. And that's why it says Smithy nearly lost his life on this one. So P.G. Taylor says, well, there's only one thing for it. The starboard engine is disabled, but there is oil in the sump. The port engine needs oil because we're burning oil too quickly. So Taylor takes a thermos and a suitcase, climbs out through the starboard side of the fuselage, and manages to get across the superstructure, hanging on to whatever he damn well can. He gets to the engine, and he manages to get the cowling off somehow and manages to get the thermos in to get some oil. He pours that into the suitcase while he's staggering, and this 150 miles an hour wind is blowing at him. They did lose a lot of oil pouring it into the suitcase because the wind just took it straight off them. Anyway, they managed to get that into the suitcase. He goes back into the fuselage, opens the port door, climbs out onto the port superstructure, and manages again to transfer this, what little oil he's got left, into the port engine. And he gets back in, and they say, "Well done, mate, that's fantastic." But the pressure in the engine is still starting to drop, and so he's got no choice. By that stage, he's got back inside, and they're saying, "Oh, thank God for that, well done." But when it starts to drop again, they know they're still in the poo, and so he's got to do it again, and they do it, I think it's 3 times. He gets out of the plane, walks across the superstructure, and they show this quite well in the reproduced, remade film. It's phenomenal. And P.G. Taylor was awarded the George Cross because the highest bravery award for a civilian for doing that sort of thing, and so they managed to get back onto Mascot. Incredible.